Hello and welcome to Camera Centre UK's first podcast, 001, and the first guest on the show is my business partner and close personal friend, Gavin Lee Sutton. Or Gavin Lee.
Just Gavin Lee.
Gavin Lee. Of course, you are a very good photographer that's managed to take photos in and around the world. You've recently moved to FPV, and we originally met each other at Camera Centre UK.
We did.
Yeah. Okay.
I was a customer and you was the annoying salesman trying to sell me everything.
I mean, yeah, I was very much a salesman at the time, trying to sell literally anything to anybody. But it was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
It was fun. Me and Gavin have been business partners for a long time. Long time. We worked together for a long time, and we started Rain Video recently, and that's where all this content comes from, which is fun.
That is.
So, First things first, let's get into it. What was your favourite camera?
My favourite camera of all time was probably the Sony A7R III.
The A7R III?
Three. Just because it was like the sweet spot of just insane for the money. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I did enjoy that camera actually as well.
Yeah.
But the great thing about the Sony A7R III was it introduced HD, 120p, really good photo specs.
Yeah.
Necessarily great in low light, because I had it at similar time to you did, I think. I can't remember.
No, it was out of all the cameras I've owned, if I had to go and buy one camera right now, I would buy an A7R III.
Yeah. I think now they're actually like really decent price. But what about the 5?
Well, it was a toss-up before we bought this camera here, which is, we'll cut to it, shooting you. That's the FX3.
Yeah.
Was very tempted by the A7R5, but in terms of video, I still don't think it's anywhere as good as the FX3.
Yeah.
Or the A1.
Yeah, well, you did like the A1.
I did like the A1, but it just felt a bit too. It was a bit too much.
It's a bit too much.
It was a bit too much.
You don't want to have too many possibilities with the camera. You want to make sure it still gives you a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
Of course, I remember the first camera that you brought into Camera Centre UK when I worked there, and that was the A7R, I think it was.
Yeah. The Mark 1.
The Thor's hammer.
Loved that camera. It's the best camera ever.
It was cool. You took a lot of really awesome photos with it, and like still to today, I know you don't take so many photos. You're actually one of my favourite photographers. You've actually got his photos up on the wall, which you're not going to be able to see because you can't see that part of the room. But they're really pretty, guaranteed.
Yeah.
It was a good camera. It had a very, very loud shutter, though.
Very loud shutter.
Yeah.
I think you should overlay the sound of the shutter right here. Some ASMR shutter. Yeah. Please do not wear headphones when you listen to this podcast. There might be a random A7R1 shutter sound.
Yeah. Throughout this podcast, somewhere we're going to put the shutter.
Yeah.
It's going to surprise you.
It's going to surprise you.
Of course, throughout the years, as you've gone up the camera chain and everything like that, like me and you both have actually gone through a lot of different lenses. What was the ones that you really enjoyed and the ones that necessarily you weren't super happy with?
I'll go to say that my favorite lens ever was probably the Zeiss 55, and I still use it pretty much every day for photography. If we're shooting cars, if we're shooting watches, if we're shooting anything, the 55 can do it. You know, portraits, landscapes, anything and everything. It is the best lens. And if you do not own a 55, I recommend you head on over to cameracenteruk.com and buy yourself a 55 Zeiss there for a Sony.
The 55 Zeiss is an excellent camera. You've had 2 of them now.
Yes.
The first one was
one that I inherited off you.
Yeah, which I loved that lens to pieces up until a certain incident.
You tipped you had a can of Monster explode in your camera bag and saturate the lens, and it killed it. It was dead.
It survived.
It was dead.
Yeah, well, I gave it to you for like 50 quid, and then you freaking made it work again.
Yes, I did.
Slower, because it was like the opposite of greased, where it's just like stuck together through all the.
I just give it an alcohol bath.
That got put in.
Just give it a IPA alcohol bath.
Oh, nice.
Made it work.
Well, you put IPA in it.
Yeah, not Indian Pale Ale. I put isopropyl alcohol in it.
Oh, fair enough. But you've also had the 24-35 Sigma.
That was F2. That was a good lens, but yeah, I wouldn't buy another one of those.
No?
Nah.
Well,
Yeah,
they
think
are old now.
Yeah, I traded it in for the 20, and I loved the 20,
Yeah.
the 21.8. Was it 1.8? Yeah, no, it was 1.4, 21.4.
No.
Sigma 21.4, yeah.
They did a 21.4, didn't they?
Yeah,
No, they
yeah,
do
yeah,
still do a 21.4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're on a one of the lenses we use maybe for the vlogging side of stuff is the 20mm Sony f1.8.
Yeah.
Which is what I got confused in my head then.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of the lenses. My favourite one to today though, and you
Probably the
know
6600.
The 6600 was excellent. It was a lot of fun. But my favourite one to today is still that film lens we bought it out in Salt Lake City.
Nice.
That 15mm f1.2, 55mm f1.2.
Yeah, sick.
That was gorgeous. But yeah, you've had an interesting journey because you've gone from, you started doing your photography out in Australia.
No, I started it back here, like 2015.
Oh, fair enough.
2015 I started, yeah.
Yeah, but when you really started building up, like people looking at your stuff, was Australia? Is that what you said to me?
Probably 2016 is probably when I started taking Instagram a bit more seriously.
Yeah.
And gunning for
And gunning for it.
Yeah, gunning for the Instagram.
Gunning for it.
Yeah.
And you've gone for the years. We've worked together on a number of different companies and all that. But you've actually, although we still do the photography and photo side of it, you've actually got yourself into a really interesting thing, which is FPV.
Yeah, it is something which I guess if you're a bit of a adrenaline junkie, then it is certainly a good hobby to get into. Because cameras are great, and I still love cameras and stuff. But for example, when we were shooting some of the festivals last year, and there's obviously shooting it with a camera and walking around with a camera, which is cool. But then as soon as you fly in, like the adrenaline's going up. Yeah, the adrenaline's going up, and you're flying. You're super immersed in the goggles, and you're flying around the DJs and flying through all the gaps on the stage and stuff. It's like, I don't know. I think it adds like a new kind of dynamic. And
was that one of the?
Obviously, that you're the only person in that tent or the arena that's seeing that gig that way as well. So it's kind of got its own
little way of.
It is very cool.
So was that one of your favourite times actually flying FPV, or?
No, I would probably say some of my favourite times flying FPV is in abandoned buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, in the FPV community, they're known as bandos, which stands for abandoned, bandoed.
It almost sounds like something from Mandalorian.
Yeah.
The bandos, the bad mandos.
Yeah, the bandos. Yeah, the bad mandos. You got it. Yeah.
Sorted. Done.
Yeah, but no, yeah, it's just it's a lot different to photography, I guess, and with the intent of going out and doing some crazy tricks, basically just freestyling. It's very much like skateboarding, even though I haven't done skateboarding, but it's very similar in a way that if you play Tony Hawk's, you get points for doing tricks, and it's kind of like an art form in itself, I would say. 100%. FPV freestyle, so
like, I've seen the stuff you do. It's incredible. Now, of course, we're actually going to be at the FPV Drone Fest this year. We did it last year.
Yeah.
That's before Camera Centre took us on to do the content for them.
Yeah.
And then we've also got FPV Drone Fest this year.
Yeah.
Which is exciting.
Which is August Bank Holiday weekend. If you are looking to be a spectator, there are a few tickets left, I believe. So head on over to fpvdronefest.com.
Oh, that's a plug. That. But no, it's going to be cool. It's going to be at.
It's called Warzone. It's called Warzone in Coventry.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be really cool. I can't wait to see some of the stuff people do, especially when you got like Mamba, who is an absolute legend.
Yeah. They're all legends. They're all legends.
They are all absolute legends. Yeah. I wish I knew how to do it, because some of the stuff they pull off and you pull off with drones is ridiculous. Yeah. I think I would prefer to do the more cinematic stuff part of it. Yeah. Just because of who I am. But the other side of it, and the reason why I think you appreciate it so much, is coming to something like Peter McKinnon talked about, a few other people talked about, where you've got to have something kind of, although it is in the realm of what we do, it's nice to have something outside of what we do. Yeah. That we can, put heart and soul into. Yeah. Other than what we do here, which is heart and soul stuff as well.
Yeah, of course.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
But on the other note, you've recently got 1.1 million views on a reel, which was cool.
1.4.
1.4.
1.4.
That went up quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it like having something go viral like that for you?
I don't know if that's even classed as viral. I think like viral is like 5 million.
Is it?
Yeah. So it's like 1/5 viral.
Alright, we'll check back next week, in which it may or may not be viral.
Yeah, we'll check back. But no, it's very cool because obviously with FPV, I am totally into doing the crazy tricks and stuff.
Yeah.
Which do not tend to get many views, and then flying in a straight line down a corridor has kind of gone crazy. So it's like,
yeah,
maybe I'm doing FPV wrong, guys. Should I just fly in straight lines? I should not. I should not.
The crazy thing about content these days, it's like
you just never know.
Put your heart and soul into something.
Yeah, and you think this is my best.
This is
video
my best
ever.
Piece of work. Yeah. Best thing I've done.
And it just flops.
But then you do something simple.
Yeah.
Boom, sorted.
It's crazy.
Loads of views.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
But no, I freestyle and doing all the crazy tricks is what I love doing. And the way I see it is like, if you ever played GTA when you're a kid, remembering all the GTA cheats, you know what I mean? So like R1, R2, L1, L2, left and right up, left and right up, you know what I mean? FPV is kind of like the adult version of playing GTA.
Is that actually a cheat code that you just sprouted then?
Yeah. I'm sure that might be like ammo or health in GTA. But yeah, it's kind of like the adult version of GTA. Learning tricks is kind of just like GTA codes. Yeah. That's the way I kind of see it.
So over your career, this kind of diverting the subject maybe just a little bit, but over your career and everything you've done, is there anything that you would put out there as advice for people looking to get into doing photography as a job, or looking to do Instagram or something like that? Any words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom, I guess. Just do whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? Yeah, just follow your heart and trust your gut. That's what I would say.
That's very true. I think a lot of people give up too early sometimes, and every now and then you've got to just push forward and realize that if you have the right attitude towards it, and you constantly push for your end goal, you are going to get there no matter what.
Yeah.
It may take you longer, it may take you shorter, but you really shouldn't compare yourself to anybody else.
No,
because the
100%.
content you're creating, I think, is the most important thing.
Yeah.
That you do. You got to learn and adapt and build your own way of doing.
100%. Yeah. That would probably be my words to everyone. Is
Fair enough. Have you got any questions for me?
Any questions for you? What is your favorite camera?
Well, you can probably guess what my favorite camera is because I've told you before.
Yeah. And it's like a Hasselblad something?
It's the Hasselblad X-Pan.
X-Pan. Yeah. I knew
you almost got it. The Hasselblad X-Pan. Me myself, I really enjoy film photography. I don't do it as much as I probably used to, but it's something that I feel like has a much more kind of like natural feel to it. And for me, when it comes to film photography, it's about training your ability to understand exposure, like without necessarily having that instant gratification that you have with digital. Something I like about the X-Pan.
Okay, can I ask you another question?
What's that?
What is your favorite instant gratification camera?
Instant gratification?
I.e. digital camera.
Okay. To be fair, that was quite a hipster response, really.
It was very hipster.
At the moment, I have my favorite camera, which is our camera. It's the FX6. I love that camera to pieces. For like many different levels, really. The reason why I like the camera so much is that it gives you everything you need. Not anything in terms of like extra 8K or anything like that, because I'm never going to record anything in 8K at the moment, because when it comes to what clients want, it's always going to be tied up within what can be streamed. Yeah. So 8K is going to be there eventually, but not until the internet is able to be widely spread at ridiculous rates, right? So the FX6, I think, gives you everything you need in a really good package that can be used in any situation as well. I mean, even with because of the sensor, the A7S 3, we took out Elam Valley in the middle of the night and I had it on ridiculously high ISO, and you know, you got really usable footage out there, and now it's like pitch black, middle of the night.
Yeah.
Barely, the only thing that could light us was the moon, and it was a really good, really good sensor, and it just does what you need it to. I don't think they're going to do an A7S4 though.
I think they're making an A7S4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to maybe make an FX 3 point
Mark II or something.
that has a
One
that has a
FX4.
viewfinder. I don't know if they're going to do an A7S.
They'll do an A7S. They've sold too many of those things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
like,
you'd essentially still get the same thing in that body. But
yeah.
it's the FX.
I don't think they would ditch that in because, you know, the FX line isn't as well known as the Alpha
Yeah.
line. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't think that they would ditch the A7S.
No?
No, no chance.
I don't know.
Only time will tell. Only time will tell.
Time will tell.
Like, how long's this guy been out? Like 2.5 years, 3 years?
Yeah,
Nearly.
it's lasted me a long time though.
Yeah,
It's wrecked.
yeah. But what I'm saying is that guy has been out 3 years.
Yeah.
How long was it between the Mark II and the Mark III?
Oh,
4 years or something?
no, it's not than that.
No.
It's like a Zelda remake, kind of like.
Yeah. But it was like 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, we are due a new A7S Mark IV.
Or an
Within-
FX3 Mark II.
Nah, I
Because
think,
that is an A7S3. I do want one. We've already talked about that.
yeah, you're not having
I
one.
don't-
You're not having one. You're not.
No, right. Okay. not just
You've
yet.
got an FX6 and an A7S3,
I know. that's
and I've got an
another
FX3.
thing. Yeah. You got an A7 IV as well.
Yeah, but you have that one camera. The main camera, this one, is like 2 cameras.
It is. Well, not really. Well, yeah, we did a test of this podcast just to send out to the brands, and I actually did the entire of that podcast on that camera. So, like you say, it's like multiple cameras.
It
but
is.
I was able to get like 3 points of view, and it actually looked fairly decent.
God.
Today, of course, we're doing it with 3 cameras, and that's exciting.
God, yeah.
What's your favorite instant gratification camera?
My favorite instant gratification camera is probably the DJI Action 2.
The DJI Action.
Yes.
You have been loving that recently. You recently wrecked one, I believe.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But that has lasted me a year.
Yeah,
Full
no,
year.
yeah.
So and obviously with DJI refresh, it cost me £17 to get it replaced, which is
£17, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, DJI, in terms of what they do with their customers when it comes to the drones and stuff like that, where it's instant refresh and stuff like that,
it's amazing.
really good, isn't
The
it?
best.
Yeah.
The best. But it's super light, like 56 grams.
Yeah.
So for FPV, it is probably one of the best. If you want like a nice light quad and doesn't feel
Yeah.
like succumbed, like, or what's it called on Skyrim? When you-
Over encumbered, isn't
yeah, over encumbered.
Encumbered.
Yeah, so
no.
you want a nice light nimble quad. You don't want to feel over
Yeah, you
encumbered.
don't want
like
to be limping down. And,
like you got a full backpack on Skyrim,
it's
you know.
cool.
So yeah,
It is
that's
very cool.
that's the one. And
Of course, you got like the other thing I think people don't understand, don't know that we sell is actually the O3 units.
yeah,
from
the
DJI
O3A
as
units.
well.
Yeah. That's where I get mine from. Is from Camera Center.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely insane. So that's DJI's own transmission signal system.
But it's still good enough to record on it as well, is that right?
Yeah. It does like 4K 60.
Does it?
No, it does 4K 120.
Yeah.
But obviously, as a pilot, you want the fastest refresh rate. So when you do 4K 120, it's actually recording. You're actually viewing 4K 60 in the goggles.
Oh,
So it's not really kind of, if you're flying in straight lines, great. But if you're doing any kind of tricks, I wouldn't say 4K 60.
you need that crazy refresh rate to be able to see.
Yeah. So 2.7K 120.
2.7K.
Yeah.
You at the moment the Action 3.
The Action 3.
Action 3 is the one to go for FPV in particular.
I've got mixed opinions on the Action 3 now, actually. So
Oh god.
yeah, so it's kind of dumb, really, but obviously the GoPro stuff, like the Hero, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, all records gyro data. Some of them require different mounting systems, like soft mounted, to be able to use the gyro data properly. But the cameras are rolling. But the Action 2 now records gyro data, which is great. So if you want to use it to stabilize your footage, fantastic. I shot a load of stuff on the Action 3, and I assumed, yeah, great. I'll just run this through GyroFlow or through Real Steady, whatever, to stabilize it. And then the next thing I was like, dude, what the? No gyro data. So the Action 3, we're gonna cut out that reaction because I'm just kind of buttered over it. Yeah, no, it turns out that the Action 3 doesn't record gyro data.
Jesus, that's actually surprising.
Yeah, that is like insanely stupid, in my opinion.
How about the other ones recorded gyro data?
Action 2 just got gyro data.
So is this something that they might introduce later on?
Yeah. Totally, they totally will introduce it later on. But how is it difficult to include that? Like, maybe it is difficult, DJI, you tell me. But yeah,
I don't know, because even the FX.
Yeah, the A7S3, the A74, the A7C, the A7. Yeah. So you can basically, even the gyro data that's in the FX6, the FX3, the A7S3, the A74, the A7C, you can use for GyroFlow as well. Yeah.
The A7C has gyro.
Yeah, gyro. Yeah.
That's one of the cameras I never thought would actually
do well. I don't think
well, but like I like it because I've kind of like the look of the A6009. I do like it. I think for me though, because I am a large human being, in everything, to be fair, that sounded a bit better in my head. It's a camera that I find hard to put in my hands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the A7C, I think it's in a good size for being able to use it day to day. But I don't know if they're going to do another version because it's just.
I think they discontinued it. I got a feeling.
Perfect camera. What would your perfect camera be?
Perfect camera. It would probably be an A7
R3.
Yeah, A7R3. Now, my perfect camera would probably be an FX3 with what's the Leica called that does is it the M11?
Oh, so what, a rangefinder? Leica have always been interesting when it comes to that camera tech, though.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
But like my perfect camera would probably be something like an A7S3 with obviously more megapixel, but you can always put it back to the 12 megapixel original thing.
Yeah.
To shoot like all of your low light stuff, but then you can shoot higher megapixel stuff.
That makes sense. I did.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was.
So basically, a camera you could limit the pixel.
Yeah. This was the thing that came up a little while ago, and if I'm honest, it sounded very conspiracy theory thing, and it was just like, oh, the FX6 has the ability to shoot 8K because of the sensor layout. They have something similar to what you're talking about, where you can you can choose the megapixel layout.
Yeah. So see,
I don't know.
Yeah, because like, I'm sure even the Sony rep said that there's a different sensor in the FX6.
Yeah.
But then it's the same sensor. Well, the A7S3.
It's a 10.2 megapixel.
Yeah, so it's
sensor.
less megapixel than the S3 and the FX3. But it's the same sensor. So what the fuck's going on, Sony? You're lying. Go on, last thing.
Last one thing. If there was anything that you'd want to shoot, you can choose between any subject there is.
Yeah.
Anything you'd want to shoot, keep it kosher. Anything you'd want to shoot, what would it be? Action camera, with the FPV or,
I would love to chase one of the SpaceX rockets launching with FPV.
That would be good. It would be destroyed immediately.
Yeah. But he sold it will drone, but I'd give it a go for as long as possible.
Yeah. There's an article, I'll send it to you, of the guy who actually takes photos of rockets, and he uses a Samyang 14mm because it was the cheaper 14 wide angles, and he uses the 5D RS.
5D RS, yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen that article?
No.
Oh,
it's the 50 megapixel
mental.
one. Yeah.
So it's 50 megapixels. He's got it on a thing, but he puts it close to where the rockets are taking off and takes photos. Every time he does this, he gets paid for it every time, obviously, but every time he does this, it wrecks the entire camera. The only thing that actually remains safe is the SD card.
What?
I have to show it to you, it's mental. But You enjoyed yourself today, then?
Yeah, it's been
Yeah,
good.
it's been good. Of course, we talk to each other pretty much every day, so this is just a general conversation we've probably had about 25 times.
Yeah.
But no, it's good.
Fantastic. Thanks
That
for
was
having me
good.
on.
Yeah. So just kind of like finish up there. This is the Camera Centre UK podcast number 1. We are looking to bring on a lot more creators onto this to kind of talk about photography, talk about cameras, creative environment and all of that, and it would be really good to kind of see your reaction to this. So if you've got any comments, anything you would want to see on the show, that would be good. So we're looking to release these every Sunday, hopefully. That is dependent on if we can get people to come and talk, but it's going to be interesting.
If not, it's probably just going to be a weekly me and you podcast.
Weekly me and you podcast. Yes.
If no one wants to come on down, then it's just going to
Gavin
be
and Stewart talking about cameras really much.
Talking about cameras all the time.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Sick.
Right, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
See you in number 10.
Yeah. And we're about to go shoot the 14mm f1.4 as well. So
yeah,
let's do it.
Let's do it.